Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce our speaker, Bott. Glenn is a Colorado native with a mechanical engineering degree from CU. He will share with you the tools and techniques he used to successfully recover from his event. You can apply these tools in your life to increase your personal power, satisfaction, and success. Please welcome our speaker, Bott.
Late June 2004, day after the summer solstice, and it's a hot one, which to me is perfect bicycling weather. I love riding when it's hot. So I call my wife, I say, hey sweetie, I'm gonna take a ride, I'll go home and feed the dogs, and then we'll hook up for dinner later. And she said, perfect, I should be done by then. So I get home, feed the dogs, pump up the tires of my bike, and I change in my bicycling clothes. You know, I get the spandex shorts on, the kind you feel fast just standing around. And I wear a yellow bandana on my head because I sweat a lot. I think about 80% of the sweat glands in my body are in my head. So I got everyone fed, I get my bicycling shoes on, put my helmet on, clip in, off I go. And I am looking forward to it. I said, this is gonna be a great day, it's hot. I wake up, it's the middle of the night, and I'm looking around. I don't have a clue where I am. Has this ever happened to you? I mean, I'm looking around and the dresser's not there, the nightstand is missing, and out the window is a tree, and it's not a Colorado tree. And around my bed is this netting. You know, what the heck? Oh, okay, I got it. Then it dawns on me. My brother-in-law took a bunch of us and we're on a golfing trip in Utah. So that explains the different room and the tree and the netting. Oh, now I got it. How cool is this? We are obviously in a 5-star hotel. Every bed has its own mosquito netting. I mean, Tom does it right. He does everything first class. And those, ladies and gentlemen, those are my first conscious thoughts after awakening from a 10-day coma after being struck by an SUV that day. I was scooped up like some roadkill, taken to the hospital as a John Doe. They don't have any ID. Didn't know who I was. So they're doing their best to keep me alive. And so I'm just hanging in there. My wife comes home. It's not dark, but I'm not there. And she goes, okay, he probably had a flat tire. They happen. Darkness is falling. Still no Glenn. He hasn't called. Now she's getting worried. She calls the cops. Says, hey, have you seen a bicyclist? Or any news on a bicyclist, a purple bike, and a yellow bandana? The dispatcher checks and just says, yes, we have someone matching that description. You'll have to go to the hospital to identify the body. Whoa. Not good news. So she gets some friends. They go to the hospital, and they got to go through the administrative bureaucracy. She just wants to see, is this him? She finally gets up to the ICU, and there's a priest outside the door. Another bad sign. She sees me in there, so now she's got a glimmer. She knows, you know, hey, he looks all right, in a sort of sad sort of way. She goes in there, and I am just tubes everywhere, bruised and battered, broken bones, obviously unconscious. And the doctor walks in, and he says, I'm here to let you know, if he makes it through the night, we're doing what we can, but if he makes it through the night, very good probability he'll live. I had tubes in my head to release the pressure so that the swelling in my brain wouldn't cause further damage. Then he gives her the news. He says, hey, we don't know how he's going to recover. Every brain injury is unique. He could be a vegetable. Possibly junior high, high school level of cognitive skills. Very low odds he will return as a functioning, delivering adult. So plan accordingly. My wife, obviously devastated. She takes a moment, she steps out, regains her center, says a few prayers, and comes in and talks to me. She says, hey, don't listen to them. They don't know you, they don't know how smart you are, and they don't know the strength of your will. So just let them get you well, but I know you're going to come back. We had all been trained at Coors. That's where I met her. We'd all been trained in the power of a positive mental attitude. So the takeaways I would offer you today, there's 3 of them. 1, we are all incredibly powerful, much more powerful than you realize. 2, have a positive mental attitude. It's extremely powerful. There's a Zen saying, fall down 7 times, get up 8. And the 3rd, what you focus on expands. Keep those in mind. As I started coming to at Craig, my brain came back online. I was in pretty sad shape. I had to learn how to chew, how to swallow, how to write. Because of my engineering background, I was pretty good with numbers, so that was all right. But it's still goofed up. I had this address with this house, and this address with this house. So there was still some jumble going on. And then they gave the flashcards. And these are kindergarten school type of flashcards. A tree, the sun, a hand, a shoe. They give 60 of these, 6-0. I got 3 right. My wife looks at my mom and goes, ooh, could be a while. Could be a while. So what I want to share with you is what I learned at Coors. I was taught the power of having a vision, knowing where you're going, lateral thinking, connecting the dots, finding a way. Our group was a small group. We functioned as a modern-day warriors. We were very loyal. We had integrity, and we got stuff done. Our boss at the time says, hey, I'll take care of the politics. You guys go out and you take care of the business. As a young engineer, I thought, oh man, this is perfect. But I'll get back to what I learned at Coors and how that helped me recover later. As we discussed earlier, at Coors, we had a good time. And this was when Coors was still a regional brewer just west of the Mississippi. Every drop of beer that they could brew and ship out the door, they could sell. Our job in our little group, packaging R&D, was to improve the performance of the packaging lines, eliminate bottlenecks, increase throughput, lightweight the containers, the cans and the bottles, and bring in new technology. We were applied R&D group. We wouldn't necessarily do new technology, but we would take what's working in industry A and bring it into industry B, our industry. So I was, again, taught in lateral thinking. Our group operated on the philosophy that commitments are carved in stone, which at the time I thought, that's kind of cool. But I also learned it was extremely powerful. Some of us even had some rocks one year for Christmas, and we had the words commitment etched in them. And we put them on our desk. They were a nice conversation piece because as people would come in, they would say, what's this about? And it gave us an opportunity to explain our philosophy, how we work, how we accomplish things. And it also helped us reinforce the story to ourselves of what we're doing, what we're about, who we are. When I left Coors to start my own, well, there were a couple of us. We started our own packaging, new product development business. Because the other guys were the true designers. They had the degrees, they had the credentials, had patents. I was the people guy. So I had to go out and start figuring out how to sell things. And at Coors, I always had a good job. I did a good job of selling our technology. I was 1,000%. Every item I took in, every project was sold and accepted. When I got out into the marketplace, I realized things have changed. Coors had the foresight and the understanding that we want to improve things, and they were willing to dedicate funds to do that. When I got out in the marketplace, not everyone had that philosophy. Go figure. So I had to explain to them, here's who we are and this is what it's going to do for you. Here's the benefits. And what I learned that helped me most in the marketplace is the commitments are carved in stone. Because most people, and I'm guessing 99.9% of the population, does not. So if you do what you say you're going to do, when you say you're going to do it, you immediately stand out in the crowd. You get noticed, you get remembered. So I start doing the sales thing, and I take some classes, I'm reading books, I'm kind of getting the feel of this, you know? And then I come across the word impeccable, and I'm like, ooh, I like the sound of that. So I study that, I read more about that. And I learned that being impeccable is when you are true to yourself. When you have a commitment, as I learned in Coors, that's an agreement between me and you. And 2 items are required for that. You need a deliverable. What am I going to deliver to you? We come to terms on that. The second item is, what's the delivery date? And once you have those 2 items, then it was my responsibility to get back in touch with you on or before the delivery date with the agreed upon item. If something happened outside my control, it was my responsibility to get back in touch with you and renegotiate. Impeccable ups that. It's an agreement with you. It helps you be honest with yourself. Every time you speak, you also listen. And I learned that it helps you be remembered and be remarkable and be amazing in the marketplace. Because you're making people, you're the vice president, the purchasing person, you're making their life easier because they don't have to remember, are you going to come back to them? They don't have to say, you know, I think it's due today. Have you ever had someone say they'll get back to you tomorrow and the phone call doesn't come? How does that make you feel? Exactly. So when you're impeccable, you're making their life easier. You're being remembered. And it helps you grow your personal power and your authenticity. In today's world, I find that most people aren't authentic. They don't have the courage to tell their truth. So if you become authentic, if you speak your truth, if you have the courage to stand up and tell your story and be impeccable, I guarantee your life will change. So what I suggest to you as you move forward, one simple thing to do, just start being honest with yourself. Just make a decision each day, I'm going to be honest with myself. And watch how you feel better. You'll start gaining your personal power. And 2, your relationships will change. People will begin respecting you. People begin noticing you. You will become an ally. Most people, here's what they say and here's what they do. When you're impeccable, here's what you say and here's what you do. And this is whether you're a leader or you're in sales, because everyone's watching you all the time. They're assessing, is this person authentic? Are they going to help me or are they going to hinder me? And when you're impeccable, you are 100% helping them. You're being your person in your truth, and you're bringing your version of love to the world. Thank you.